Well, I have found that a very interesting way to learn about the culture of a country is to go to that country and spend time with the people who create the food that people eat in those places. And there are a lot of opportunities in all parts of the world these days to travel, to go to areas that are sort of out of the normal places that tourists go, but to go with small groups of people and meet chefs, meet home cooks, learn from them the things that are important to them in terms of how they cook, the traditions that they have, the kinds of ingredients that they use. And it really gives you a real eye-opening lesson in what a real culture is like. Very different from reading about it in a book or a magazine. I mean, the best thing would be to go and live in a place for a long time, but some of these sorts of experiences, you really get to meet people who are very passionate about the things that they do in their everyday life. And food is something that I think is worth having a great passion about.
Where have you been on some of these cooking vacations?
Well, I've been a number of different places here in the United States. I've been to New Mexico, for example, California, but I really have enjoyed traveling in Europe in a number of places where cooking and travel come together. I've been to Spain, I've been a couple of times to different places in France. Mostly I've been to different places in Italy, and from the north to the south, Sicily, Puglia, Rome, Venice, various places like that. And each experience is really very different. And that's been something the education of learning about a country through its food is something I've found really fascinating. As Americans, I think we often have this impression that the food of a country is a single thing defined by two or three sort of ingredients. We may think of Italian food, for example, as just spaghetti and meatballs, because that's kind of the way we were raised, to think it's just one single thing. Well, it's not. It's the food of even a country, which Italy is not a very large country geographically, but the diversity of its food and the ingredients that cooks in different parts of the country rely on is vastly different. And learning about those differences, whether it's part of the country uses one kind of cheese, part of the country uses another kind of cheese, some parts of the country which are very rich in terms of having animals that they can use will have a lot of meat in the diet. Other parts of the country that are more impoverished don't have so much meat in the diet. Some parts of the country use tomatoes in almost everything that they cook, versus another region of the country that doesn't. And just learning why the people in different parts of the country use certain ingredients, don't use other ingredients, and the wonderful things that they can make out of the simplest combination of ingredients is what I've really enjoyed learning about.